evening, wonderful people, great Biafrans, wherever you are. We welcome you to another explosive edition of Radio Biafra live presentation on this very day, this very glorious day that Chukwokika Biama has made. Today's date, it is the 15th day of April, 2020, with the time now standing at exactly 7 minutes past 7 p.m. in the evening. I say good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night to some of you, and in their usual style and form. When we started this very program this evening, we were live on my Facebook page, Nnamdi, Kanu, but unceremoniously and shamefully and without any warning, the forces of iniquity, the forces of darkness, they have proceeded to disengage us from that very platform. We have hastily reconnected because this very gospel must be preached. If you are a follower of this very phenomenal liberation movement, if you are an avid listener on Radio Biafra, we are accustomed to regular interference and interception from those of them who are so iniquitous they can only be described as the children of perdition. We started and we were live, everything was okay, and all of a sudden and without any warning, they disconnected us. Then we are back again. We are also on Radio Biafra. We are on Radio Biafra page and numerous platforms all over the world. We are on FM. We are on satellite. The whole world is listening. Humanity is paying attention because our mission, our only mission and purpose is to bring to an end the miserable British contraption, is to render asunder that very cage in which Lugard gathered different nationalities and decided that they are worthy of experimentation. That experimentation we are suffering till this very day. That is why we have remained in pain. That is why we have remained in penury. That is why there is no discernible progress. That is why good people have been turned to monsters. That is why previously men and women of good conscience have been turned into cold-hearted monsters and demons all around the place. The zoo must fall for men to live. That is the essence of this very proclamation, this very gospel, this very message this evening, that if you allow Nigeria to continue to exist, many more people will die. Many more will be disenfranchised. Many more will be rendered hopeless. Many more will live a life of regret and shame. This evening, I am very, very confident that those of you who are avid students of Radio Biafra, those of you that seek light and enlightenment, those of you in search of knowledge, that you have come with your pen and your paper, that those of you who are listening right across every time zone on this very earth, because unlike any other, it is only Radio Biafra that is listened to across the length and breadth of this very third planet from the sun, where humanity resides. Tell those who are around you, you will notify them, for they shall know the truth, and that very truth shall set them free. My name is Nnamdi Kanu. I am the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra. This very IPOB that resonates right around this very world, and by the very special grace of Elohim, I will forever remain a servant of the wonderful people of Biafra. Our job is to propagate. Our job is to preach. Our job is to shepherd the children of light into the safe abode of Biafra before the precipitous collapse, before the inevitable unraveling of the shambolic zoological republic. That job must be done by the children of men, and that is what we are here to do without any fear nor favor. We are here to do this very magnificent work, not minding all the difficulties that we keep encountering every blessed day, every blessed time that we seek to come on earth to preach this gospel to the hearing of humanity. Our enemies will try, but they will always fail. They try, but they fail. If you were disengaged before by Facebook, I strongly recommend that you rejoin us. If you are not on Twitter, I will gladly suggest that you go and make sure you open a Twitter account, because this evening we shall be doing something unique. This evening our expose on the zoo has to be total, it has to be complete, it has to be defining, and it must be very, very effective. They have refused to reason. Therefore, we must compel them to do so. The enemies will try, but as always, they will fail. They cannot prevail over the children of light. We must pray this very evening before we continue to hand over these very proceedings to Elohim in heaven, to ask for his mercy, for his grace upon those that call upon him, and more critically than anything else, to usher in this very land of Biafra, that men may live as free as heaven had always intended. And as we pray, we ask all of you, those who are in the spirit, those who understand the purity of this very mission, those who accept this very special commission to go and to serve humanity in truth and in every honesty, will be able to join us to call upon the Heavenly Father who art in heaven. We give you every praise, every honor, every adoration. We have come before thee humbly to submit ourselves before your throne of grace, that you may have mercy and pity upon your children who are being ravaged by hunger, that you may have pity upon us. Those of us who are being lied to persistently on a regular basis, that you may have pity upon us. Those who are suffering, those who are sick, those who are diseased right around the world, that you may bring your comforting hand upon them. For those that have passed, O Heavenly Father, that you may comfort their families, that you may comfort them, that your grace, O Heavenly Father, may abide with us now and always, we pray. He said, as I said, there are many platforms and many ways through which and by which you can listen to Radio Biafra this very evening. Our enemies are not relenting. The Yoruba people that work for Facebook, they are not relenting. They will continue to interfere. And I'm sounding a very clear note of warning this evening to our people right around the world and those who are suffering in the zoo who may not be of Biafran extraction, that you have too many enemies. There are enemies everywhere, and these enemies have not come that they may help you. They have come that you may die ingloriously, that you may suffer, that hunger may persist in the land, that suffering may abound everywhere. They have come that they may fulfill that very purpose for which they have brought vaccine into the zoo, that they may fulfill the dream of the neo-colonialists to hold us in chain and in bondage in perpetuity. They cannot prevail. They cannot succeed We cannot allow them to prevail. We cannot allow them to succeed. As I said, we are simulcasting across a whole length and breadth of platforms. We are broadcasting live on Facebook, not just on my page, but also on Radio Biafra. We are on TuneIn. We are on Simple Radio. You can receive this very gospel this evening also on our app, on Radio Biafra app. You can also be part of this very gospel on CHK 102.1, 102.2, 100.2, depending on where you are in Biafra land. Swathes of Biafra land can receive this very broadcast on their radio. I welcome you once again, and this evening I would not say in a departure from our usual ways, but what I have to say is very simple. That those who are supporting the very terrible, the very condemnable, the very disastrous regime of the Fulani cabal will have themselves to blame in the end. You will have yourselves to blame in the end because we continue to speak the truth. And that truth is what shall lead us into freedom. It will lead us into the light because there is nothing the enemy can do to dissuade us. There is nothing the enemy can do to try to stop this very unstoppable train of the restoration of Biafra. Not just for Biafra, but for everybody else. They will try, but they will fail. And they will continue to fail. As Facebook has also failed this very evening, trying to restrict the number of people that listen, trying to cut our streaming, trying to frustrate us, only gives us strength, courage. It gives us all the energy we need to continue this very effort that we are making to set everybody free, including those who are tampering with our live transmission this very evening. That hasn't stopped us in the past. It will not stop us this evening from dismantling the zoo and their lies. Nigeria is a den of lies, deceivers, and thieves. People who think that perhaps the mastery of a few lines of English prose somehow qualifies them to be regarded as intellectuals, those who out of stupidity, those who out of timidity, those who out of cowardice cannot stand up to defend the truth at all times as we have done here. This evening we render them asunder, we decimate them completely and totally. It doesn't matter what you interfere with, what you don't interfere with. This very evening we unmask what is left of the miserable zoological republic and all those that support her, all those that benefit from the misery of the people. If you have not brought your pen and your paper, then I doubt, I do not see how you can follow this very broadcast this evening. I don't know how you're going to do it. I do not have a clue how you're going to do it. But we are going to do everything we possibly can to make sure we give you the knowledge that you need to possess in order to be able to understand what is happening to your lives and why you have not made any progress, why the police and the army will be more interested in killing people than feeding them, why the police and the army in the zoo have killed more people than the so-called dreaded COVID-19, why the Nigerian state will continue to preside over a regime of impunity and iniquity, making your lives a living hell and a misery. If you have what it takes, if you have brain cells functioning in your head, this evening you will be set free. But if you decide to be part of those that support and encourage evil, then you're not going to learn anything at all. You must listen very carefully, please. with the combination of hunger and of starvation going on now that has led to riots in some cities, with the double standards we are witnessing from certain segments of the zoo media, those who are born witness to the killing of innocent people, the intimidation, the Fulani lootocracy because they loot and they burn, that is what they do. Those who have witnessed Fulani terrorism, those who are now partakers in the loot and the burn culture, the deception and all the lies, all the photoshops, the lack of transparency, all the repressiveness by every tier of government, all the dictatorial tendencies emanating from this very regime of unspeakable decadence and evil. All the countless other sins, the sins of the Fulani, nomadic, Janjaweed, and the Majiri, the worst of which are the ones now left in Asarok, those presiding over the lives of 200 million people, the 200 million people that we are handed over to an obscure Chinese company. A Chinese company is now in charge of the well-being of 200 million people. The same Chinese are responsible for very abhorrent racism in China. They have brought them into the zoo that they may conduct experiments on the lives of those who can't speak for themselves. They brought them in to wreak havoc. They brought them in to depopulate us. They brought them in to reduce our numbers. They brought them in that death may descend upon the lives of the innocent. As the lockdown is going on, everywhere, even in Nnamdi, they are busy installing 5G networks with the very dangerous millimeter wave radiation that weakens the immune system, thereby giving COVID-19 the ideal condition to wreak havoc. Understand what I'm saying very clearly. People have been asking what is the correlation between 5G and COVID-19. And allow me to repeat very clearly this evening. The relationship is this. 5G, due to the type of very dangerous radiation it emits, it is called millimeter wave radiation. What it does is that it weakens your immune system that allows this common cold, the same way you have cold and catarrh, this very virus to be able to invade your system, lock onto the cells in your lungs, and begin to secrete mucus, which is what kills people. I am sure that we understand that very clearly. That is why we do not want any 5G for now. All of you listening tonight, your lives are worthless before the scoundrels in Asarok, before the people that you call political leaders. Of course, I do concede that some of them are good people, without any shred of a doubt. What I do know for a fact is that a majority, a good number of them are out to sell us to the highest bidder. As long as they are comfortable with their families, they will do anything they like with our lives. This very gospel is for everybody who is resident in the zoo. It is not just for the people of Biafra. This very gospel this evening is for those of you suffering in the Middle Belt, for those of you suffering in the West, in Yoruba land, not minding what some of your journalists are doing, not minding what some of your brothers and your sisters are doing, those working for Facebook, not minding all the effort they are putting in to disrupt this very march to freedom. This very gospel is for all of you. Your future and that of your children has been imperiled. Allow me to repeat, your future and that of your children has been flushed down the drain by this very class of greedy bastards, I'm sorry to say, in the name of political leaders. It doesn't matter if they're APC or PDP. The fact remains that they have all failed you and will continue to fail you. This is something you must understand unless you elevate your thinking process, unless you elevate your reasoning, unless you are prepared to come out of the shackles they have settled around you in the zoo. You will never ever comprehend what I am saying. It doesn't matter who they are. It doesn't matter if they are traditional rulers. It doesn't matter. I'm not saying there are no good traditional rulers. Of course there are. It doesn't matter which side of the political divide they belong. Of course they have no divide. The only thing that divides them is how much they can loot. When you see people chasing a van carrying loaves of bread, when you see people attacking a lorry in broad daylight, trying to get what they can feed their family with, that is a sure sign that you are living like animals, that those that claim they are there to look after your interests, that they can never do it. Not now, not tomorrow, not ever. Instead, they go to China and they bring in scientists to come and experiment on your lives. And that is very sad and highly regrettable. If you do not know this by now, then you are in one almighty mess. It doesn't matter which party they belong to. They have all failed. Events in the past few days with the lockdown, especially in the south from Abuja all the way down to the south, have shown and will continue to show that we can overpower these people, even with their guns, if we act as one and in a coordinated manner. Allow me to repeat. If we can replicate what happened in Okigwe, what happened in Ibadan, in Akure, in parts of Lagos, if people can rise up and say that enough is enough in a well-coordinated manner, believe you me, this very corrupt entity will fall. And the people can begin to chart a better life, not just for themselves, but for their children and those unborn. That is the revolution that people are talking about. The condition is now ideal for it. But I will tell you why in Nigeria it appears impossible for people to revolt. If you do not revolt, if you don't rise up against this very dreadful, mask-wearing, photoshopping regime, you are finished. Because you have two phenomena attacking you. Two attacking you from both sides. One is those that want to take over your lives, experiment on you, reduce your numbers, kill your children, kill your father, kill your mothers. They exist using vaccines, using population reduction strategies, using starvation, making sure there are no jobs, making sure that your lives are so miserable that you don't want to live it anymore. That is why some of you commit suicide. Rather than committing suicide, rather than making or sitting back in your homes weeping and crying, the time has come for people to rise up in a coordinated manner and overthrow the evil people that you have in the zoo ruining your lives. they cannot feed you. When you ask for bread, they give you bullets in the head. Do you want to continue living this way? Is that what you want? Admittedly, there is no central figure to lead a revolution from the center in the zoo in Nigeria, because Nigeria has never been won before. Never, ever, ever. Nobody can lead a revolution from the center, because some sections of the Mazi will not come. They will say enough from their side. All the Janjaweed will need to do, all the Fulani Kabal will need to do is to say, we have your interest at Alamajiri, at Rantadede. These people are coming from outside. They will not defend your interest. That is all it takes. And everything that you're planning will be unhinged. Understand this very, very clearly. It doesn't matter who they are all the same. There is no central figure to lead a revolution, we understand that. But people can, I'm very careful to this, you can go back to your various regions, ethnic groups, identify good, honest leaders that can preside over your affairs and who can speak for you. Very, very simple. I'm saying this to the Middle Belt and to the Yoruba young people as well. Those without a future in the zoo. Don't allow them to convince you. Don't allow them to say, oh, don't worry, when people get seen, things will be fine. The same people today who are complaining from Yoruba land. Obasanjo was there for 8 years. Did your life improve? Those of us from Biafra, especially Southern Biafrans, Jonathan was there for 6 years. Did our life improve? Those of them from the Sahel, even let me say Daura in Katsina, where Buhari came from, and in whose name a Sudanese is ruling over 200 million people. Are the lives of people in Daura better today? Ask yourselves all these questions. It doesn't matter if they make your uncle, your father, maybe the immediate family may enjoy them and their friends. Maybe you can go up and decide to rape somebody's mother and get away with it. As Erufai's son has just said, he will rape somebody or somebody's mom. That is the son of a governor. Such people may benefit. But the wider society in whose interest we are doing what we are doing, they can never ever benefit. We will continue to remain poor. When people see a truckload of rice, they will attack it. People will continue to behave like wild beasts and animals. In the 21st century, you must understand this very clearly, please. That is why there must be a revolution. This revolution must be region by region. The Middle Belt must organize themselves. The West must coalesce around somebody, preferably Shore. We are organized in the East. We are, and we are ready. The only thing, how many people are they going to kill? Let me ask you. But if you allow them to keep moving their troops from place to place, if there's a revolution in the West, they move there, they crush them, or they kill. There's in the East, they come. If we all rise up at the same time with one voice, in unison, the zoo will fall. Only then can people sit around and say to themselves, what type of future do we want to chart for ourselves and our children and those who are unborn? Are you relying on people that lie to you every blessed day to determine the life that your kids are going to live? People talk about USA, they talk about UK, you talk about France, you talk about all these people went through what I'm asking you to do this evening. All of them, by none. Russia, in China, everywhere there was a revolution by the people. The people said enough is enough. And I keep asking black people, at what point will you get to that stage to say enough is enough? And let me tell you what they have cleverly done. They have made it impossible for you to do so. Do you know why? Because of the way that the country was put together. We are going to get to the demolition of the zoo and all their lives. We'll get to that. But we just want to set a preamble to let you understand why people can go to Sudan and recruit somebody and say that person is Buhari. Why they can lie to you and say, oh, they are broadcasting live when it is not live. Why they can Photoshop that can change the picture in broad daylight before your eyes. They issue the picture. They say it's President Buhari, and some of you will buy into it. It's because of the contraction that people have been forced to live under. For you to be free, you must break away from that herd mentality. You must come away and reason the way that we do in IPOB. That is why we win every argument. That is why we win every debate. That is why nobody can stand up in a debate. It is impossible. Because we understand the zoo and the plan, not just of the idiots you see in Asorok, no, they're relevant. When there are issues as the world is facing now, this very problem, this very pandemic, that is when you know those that control the power. All of you heard it. A minister said that a Chinese company took it upon themselves as their corporate responsibility to bring their own nationals into Nigeria without visa. They brought them in. That was what he said. No visa, nothing. And they did not bring them in that they can build factories to employ you. They didn't bring them in so they can lay pipes to supply water to homes. They didn't bring them in so they can pipe gas to your homes, which is what should occur in a normal society. No. They brought them to test vaccine on you. And when they pump the vaccine into you, you start looking for a very shady Pentecostal pastor to pray for you to become well. And in the process, they will extort your money and you will die. Now you understand it? This is the time for people to rise up. You either, everybody on your own, you're a leader. Everybody is. Man, woman, and even a child who can reason. People must come together. Now is the time to defeat the diseased plutocracy they are now running in the zoo called Nigeria. Why am I saying all of this? Because some of you will not come out tomorrow and say, oh, this job you're doing is very selfish. You only care about yourself. No, we don't. We care about everybody, and we are giving you a solution to the problem. If you like, you take it. If you like, you don't. But you see this problem you're facing now, this hunger, ravaging people, dying, hanging out, stealing from a few passing vehicles, behaving like wild monkeys, in a safari. It's unbelievable. Your life has more worth and dignity than what you're currently experiencing in the zoo. And you can make your lives better. The only way you can make it better is by rising up as one to say no to what is happening in the zoo. For all those Yoruba people that work in Facebook and in the media, tampering with a march for freedom, for them to repent and stop being evil. For them to repent and stop being evil, because they are evil. And that evil will consume them. The Yorubas must be careful, because that evil that you are supporting will consume you. The loss of a Lauren is not enough. You lost a Lauren with this type of behavior, this very dirty game you're playing, this duplicitous two sides of the coin you're playing. That was why you lost a Lauren to the Fulani. You have not learned anything. Yoruba, you have not learned anything at all. You have not learned anything. This time around, you'll be swallowed whole, you'll be consumed whole. Write it down this night as I preach this very gospel, so that you may know in the future. As some of you are now looking at the gift that they gave to you, you lost a Lauren. A Lauren is now an emirate. An Oba is not there. Yoruba should learn from the mistake they made in the Lauren and not allow it to repeat itself. They must understand this very carefully. People must go back to their regions. People must go back. The West should be one, East should be one, Middle Belt should be one. Exactly what Gideon Oka had in mind. Everybody should prepare, because the British that gave the power to the Fulani, they know very well that they are hopeless, they are useless. If we say to the Fulani today, bring 1 million people who want to cut off their head, and see how Corona works in the truth, they will do it very gladly. You will see them, they'll come to the streets, they'll grab to them, they'll kill them, nothing will happen. People ask and say, oh, why is CNN not reporting it? They will not report it because it is in the interest of CNN, Bill Gates, and all the rest of them to see that the population of black people are reduced. And if gun-wielding Fulani reprobates are going to make sure that the population of black people are down in Africa. Believe you me, the work. I hope you're following. If, I repeat, if, as they know it very well, that the job the Fulanis are doing will get them ultimately to where they want to be, which is a reduction. Anytime a black person is killed by the police or the army in Africa, they are rejoicing. In Europe and in America. That is why there is no inquiry. That is why you never hear them complain about. Have you heard of anybody being shot dead anywhere else in the world apart from in Africa? Are people being shot dead? As an African person, man, woman, or child, have you ever asked yourself this question? Why are people being killed when they come out to say we have no food? You have not asked yourself that question. Any day you ask yourself that question and be able to answer yourself honestly, then you will know the mess you're in. In trying to get us out of that mess, the Yorubas are frustrating it. They are frustrating it. That is why I say, I speak the truth. You may not like it, but it's the truth. That is why I'm saying that Yoruba should look at themselves in the mirror. They are the problem with Nigeria. They have failed to speak the truth. Simple truth. Common truth, some of them cannot speak. Of course, there are very brave people who are there. People say, oh, why do you focus on Yoruba? I am focusing on them because they are the problem. They are the problem. You cannot believe that we came on air. As soon as I turned on our systems, there were nearly 3,000 people who were on, joining to listen. As soon as they felt that, oh my goodness, if we leave him, everybody will be on his page listening, they shut it down immediately. Who did it? Not white people, not Europeans or Americans or Asians, no. It was done by those that claim they are Nigerians. It was done by Yoruba people working for Facebook. When you ask them, oh, no, Nigeria is bad, oh, we need to change. This is the solution. What Nnamdi Kanu is doing, what IPOB is doing, is for the betterment of everybody. They know it. Because, he's an Igbo man. Huh? If not saying Yoruba, then people are so parochial to the point of harming themselves or their interests. That's how bad some people are. I am not asking them to be part of Biafra. They can go to Yoruba land and be free and decide to join, to be slaves to the Fulani for life. That is their business. We have people in Biafra land doing that. We have those who are in power as governors. All they want to do is to be governor so they can vie to become vice president to a danger with them in law. That's all they do. All of them are not the same. All of them, that's what they do. They want to be VP to somebody from the north. That is the height of their political ambition and aspiration. Those of us in Biafra land, we live in a so-called country where people deliberately, in broad daylight, the oil and the gas that gives money to the zoo is coming from Biafra land. In broad daylight, they go outside, they borrow money, they share the money among themselves, and they tell you, we will not give you. And everybody's saying, oh, we are one Nigeria. Can you ever understand that logic? Let me tell you how people's wickedness can impact those, say, down the ladder, so to speak, socially and economically. When Yoruba media, when they fail to report the truth, they are directly responsible for another bomb going off somewhere in Yoruba land. That is something they don't know. Yoruba media never ever reasoned for once that years and decades of covering up Fulani evil was the reason why Fasoranti lost the daughter. It never occurred to them that Fulani headsmen would occupy their forests. That useless Yoruba boy or girl in Facebook office in Abuja and in Lagos doing the work of Satan, you don't know that what you're doing is encouraging terrorists to be in the forest in your village, killing people. You don't know that. Your brain cannot tell you that. That what IPOB is doing, what Nnamdi Kanu is doing, so will drive them away for the betterment of everybody. I know that the eyes of Yoruba are on oil and gas. I have said it before. Allow me to say it again tonight. People will be given oil and gas to do with as they please. Every country in West Africa will receive free oil and gas because their economies to grow as well. It's common sense. We need market for goods and services. You don't tell me that with where China is, that China is going to be importing things from Biafra. Of course not. We need to sell to other African countries. We need to develop other African countries. That the type of life we wish for ourselves and our children may have it as well. That is why we do what we do. There is no selfishness. There is no parochialism. There is no we and only we, never. You must understand this very, very clearly. People must go back to their regions and begin to organize as a matter of urgency. Now. For us to survive, when I mean us, I mean everybody to survive, we must outthink the moral and their supporters. In Biafra land, there are plenty. In many governors' mansion and lodge in Biafra land, you have people who are Biafrans serving the interest of the Janjaweed in the north. See what's happening in Nnamdi State? A governor lying through his teeth, saying somebody has COVID-19 when it's a lie, so they can lay pipe for 5G. And I said it in my last broadcast. The reason why they are saying this is to lay the pipe for 5G, and today we have the proof and the evidence, incontrovertible, that they're laying 5G pipes and cable, rather, in our land. When they know we need no 5G, we don't need 5G for anything. They know our mothers, they go to the farm, they come back, they sell their produce. What do we need 5G for? You did not give us railway. Listen, our people need to, are we no longer Biafrans? Does it mean we can no longer reason? Are you telling me that if 5G were to be beneficial, they'll bring it to our land? I'm asking you, they've not built second Niger Bridge, or Enugu Express Road not built, Water Enugu not built. Our schools are leaking. We have no hospitals. They built their railway all over the place. There is none in our land, and they're bringing you something, and you think that thing is to benefit you. Oh my goodness. I don't believe that Japan can reason this way. If what they're bringing is good, believe you me, they will not enter Biafra land. What they are laying is what will fry ourselves to allow any bacteria, to allow any virus to invade our system. Some of you don't know that virus has no cure. I don't know if we're aware of this. Virus has no known cure. There is no medicine you can take that can remove virus from your body. It is simple. What you do is that you manage the symptoms and you boost the body's immune system. And we claim we have doctors and learned people. Something as minor as this eludes them. Who told you that virus has a cure? All you can do is to boost your immune system to be able to fight the invading virus. There's no medicine for it. It's not a bacteria. Bacteria can take antibiotics. You can take retroviral, which is to slow down the pace, not to kill. In medicine, you have antibiotics, which means it can kill bacteria. There is no antivirus, no. What you have is retroviral. This thing should be out there for those who are sensible to understand. But we keep lying to ourselves. We keep deceiving ourselves. We keep pretending that we know when, in actual fact, we know nothing. I'm not ashamed to say I don't know. Every day I learn. Every blessed day I read and I learn. And as I'm going to learn, I pretend I know nothing at all. I pretend as if I'm in a kindergarten. Because anytime you're going to learn something and you come with preconceptions, you're finished. You're gone. You can't learn anything. Ask any doctor, is there any antivirus drug? Any drug I can take that can kill virus? Because in your body, you have over 3 trillion, not million, not billion, 3 trillion viruses in your body. Right now, as you're listening to this podcast. And you're not dead. Because every day, your white blood cells are working, trying to stop them. That is how life is. For us to survive, we must outthink the Fulani cabal. What they do is that they find problems and they spray money. They promise you, oh, you're going to be the next senator for this district. You, House of Reps, you're going to serve our interests, and they serve them diligently. Look at who opposed them and will deal with him after the whole corona thing is over. He thinks he's out of the wood. He is dreaming. He is dreaming. We have been bombed in Madala, in Abuja, in Lagos, in Onitsha, in Akure, in Benin a few days ago. And many more bombs will come. Many more bombs will go off unless we rise up now and do something. Police and army are killing civilians, not terrorists or bandits, so not Miet Yala. Miet Yala, with their terrorist group, they are killing people. Either the police to protect you, the police are busy killing ordinary, innocent civilians. And you're telling me that such a place is the country? Is that what you're telling me? The success of this very primary revolution depends on discipline. That is why we discipline people live on earth, that the world may know. Without discipline, especially in a black man, without discipline in a black man, you are not going anywhere. The reason why Africa was carved up the way it is, the reason why Africa is in a mess is because black men are not disciplined enough to remain on that path of truth, not wavering no matter what. It's only IPOB. We don't waver. Our enemies, they know that. We don't move. That path we are on, the path of truth, consistently we are there, we do not move. That is what other people lack. And that is the potency of IPOB. And that is the same mindset, the same ideology we want to use into Middle and into Yoruba. Forget your leaders, they are deceiving you. You see that some of them, they still grammar. They can't do nothing. They are cowards, they cannot do anything. The same way we have them in the East. The same way they cannot do anything for us. I mean nothing, not now, not tomorrow, not ever. The time has come. They said we are this, we are political leaders. The time has come for them to improve leadership. Okay, feed your people, which is the commonest thing that any government is doing. All over the world are doing it. Feed them now. Feed your people. Let's see. You're a politician. They have no strategy. They never planned for food security. They know nothing. These are the idiots that are ruining your lives. All we are asking you to do a little bit of thinking and see the benefit for you and for your children, even those who are not born. Unless we rise up, the police and the army will continue to kill people. Any day we rise up, they will stop. But we must be disciplined. If we are not disciplined, we cannot succeed. There is no president in Nigeria as I speak, as I shall demonstrate in a very short while. If indeed the majority of the people in Nigeria are fed up of their miserable existence, the existence people are forced to endure in the zoo, now is the time to rise up, now, not tomorrow, before they weaken our immune system with their 5G and kill us in our millions because we'll be busy attending funeral. They will not have time to rebel or revolt anymore. To the law-abiding Fulani, I am not your enemy. IPOB is not your enemy. You must understand this. My enemy are the cabal, those holding you down. They're holding you as a hostage. The same thing they do with the Yoruba, as a bargaining chip. They go, let's share the money now. Leave those from the East. Leave them. We can bring in one or two of their traitors. You know, we know them. We give one or two money. Like the idiot they said, wrote something that we don't need Biafra. Shop. A nameless, faceless idiot. That's where he came from. The law-abiding Fulani that wants to see his life improved. To the Yoruba, I am here to help you. We are here. IPOB is here to help you to become free. Let them know with oil and gas. Don't allow them to deceive you that oil and gas is the end of oil is now about $10 per barrel. Very soon oil will be worthless. Don't let them deceive you. We saw all you need to survive is in the East. Because of that, please, let's try and be one Nigeria. That way, they continue to maintain their work lifestyle while you're chasing a van loaded with bread so you can feed yourself and your family. While they are in their posh flat in Ikoyi and BI having fun, telling you, oh, one Nigeria, we need one Nigeria. You are busy chasing a rickety van on the road looking for bread to steal. They have turned you into a petty thief. Those that, oh, we are your leader. They have turned you into a petty criminal. That's who you are now. Imagine growing up. You know the video is there. Imagine growing up one day and saying to your child, I understand you misbehaved in school today. Don't do it next time. Here is a video of you stealing bread in 2020. That I will say to you. The people you claim are your politicians, they have turned you into broad daylight thieves. Now you understand it? Now you understand it. And what somebody is doing is, the idiot working for Facebook, the Yoruba boy working for Facebook, he goes to America. He will come back and he will pose. He will snap picture and say, oh, I took this in New York. We were in New York, man. We were in Europe, man. But he doesn't want to make Lagos or Akure or Ibadan to be like US. He only wants to go to US alone. So you worship him. When he comes back, he will run to Facebook and be doing everything possible to make your life miserable by making sure you will not take freedom he's enjoying in America. Do you understand? That is the typical way a black person reasons. Typical. I'm sorry I'm digressing a little bit. Before I came here, I received divination. I received message that this is what we must preach, that the world may hear and know what is happening in Israel. They travel abroad. Some of them run away because of COVID-19. Their children are abroad schooling. And if you ask them, how can my own child be like your child? That's how, don't worry, one Nigeria. Igbo want to break away. Igbo want to break away. Ask the person, that place your children are, Bosse and the brother Toyin, they also want to be there as well. You hear what they will say? They are stopping you from fulfilling your potential. If you're in a cage like Nigeria, you can never ever attain your full potential. That is a fact of life. Because wickedness and evil prevail all the time. All the time. Nigeria is a fraudulent creation. That is why a soldier, police, or civil defense can kill you without any repercussions. Absolutely none. And they're killing people in the south. Have you heard that they killed somebody in the north? Have you ever heard that in Janjaweed, in Sharia territory, anybody said no? What does that tell you? The gun you see an army or police officer carrying is not meant for terrorists or armed robbers. They are meant to keep you in line. When you see police with gun now, it's not meant for terrorists. If it were meant for terrorists, they would have been hunting them down and killing them. They are meant to keep you, the law-abiding citizen, in line. So you follow. You follow. You say yes, 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 you follow. And meanwhile, after stealing money from the accountant general office, they burn it. They steal money from corporate affairs, they burn it down. And they come back to you and they say, okay, we're fighting corruption. It's something that is happening. Oh, we are carrying this gun in case armed robbers come. Who are the armed robbers? They don't know the police and the army. The same people you're claiming your fight, are they not the armed robbers who give guns to armed robbers? It's not the police and the army. Who give them guns? This is police and the army. How many Boko Haram or Miyetia terrorists have they killed? They are busy killing people who are hungry. How many? Ask yourself this question. You claim you're in Nigeria. How many terrorists were killed this week? None. Chad is fighting for them. None was killed. But how many civilians were killed? 16. What is their crime? What did they do? Nothing. They came to a bus stop and said, I will not give you bribe, and they stopped dead. And all of you are quiet. Everybody is quiet. When we speak, we say, oh, don't talk. Remember, oh, yeah, don't talk. And if you're honest with yourself, nobody will want to be in a country with people that reason that way. No human being. You see them with their hypocrisy on their channels, talking rubbish. Hey, our country, this is our country, this is our country. You'll be wondering, what is in that country that they want? They want to perpetuate the way they live and their lifestyle. So we are safe today, but in reality we are not. Fulani inferiority because they don't go to school, they know nothing. So they come to every occasion with a body, with a chip on their shoulder, inferiority complex. That is why even when you forget in a confab, a constitutional conference, you have a very good idea, you suggest it. They will say, oh no, but that man or woman, you're educated. No. Even when you're telling them what we said, they'll tell you no, because it's coming from you. Is that the type of country you wish to belong to? We are not safe in the zoo. I know that the Fulanis that are making life miserable for everybody, they have the formidable support of the Yoruba media. We know. But as long as we can continue to reason like human beings, as long as we can get as many people to reason like human beings, we should be able to see through their lies. There has to be a nationwide revolution in the zoo and also in Biafra land. Because I am telling you the gospel truth. A Yoruba man cannot follow an Ibibio man. Never. Not in a billion years. Never. Never. They won't follow. That is why let everybody go back to their region and conduct a revolution there. After that, people can meet in the center to discuss it. If after they're going to discuss. That is how we are wired. We are IPOB. We are IPOB. You must understand this. We never waver. Not now, not tomorrow, not ever. Therefore, let brave individuals emerge from the Middle Belt and from the West to lead their people. That way we can strike at the same time and we can all be free. Should Middle Belt come under attack, we all go and defend them. Should Yoruba land come under attack, we go and defend them. And Biafra the same. After the revolution, we can now sit around the table and have an honest discussion which path to follow. Nigeria to kill everybody if we continue this way. Everybody will die in this way. I wish to appeal to especially the hungry, abused masses all over Nigeria and Biafra land to prepare for an uprising or face starvation. As you're locked down in the Middle Belt, East and West, the real beneficiaries are the criminals that for Nigeria. You must understand this very well. They are the only people that benefit. They are the only ones that benefit. Our appeal is to you this evening, all men and women of goodwill, for you to understand and appreciate the need to be free. Before we came on air this evening, they said the Fire God's Corporate Affairs Commission, of course, is the news everywhere. The news everywhere. This is the one. I'm bringing this breaking news this evening from which publication is. I think it's everywhere. You go and Google it. They will tell you. Go and Google it. It is everywhere. It is everywhere. Fire God's the Corporate Affairs building. Is anybody in doubt? Go and see it. Under Jonathan, was there any fire? Under Obasanjo, was there any fire? They have come. The same breed of Omaludika of Ibrahim Taher. That's what they do. They loot and they burn. Today it is burning. Today it is burning. Can't you see it? That is burning. Can't you see that it is burning? They loot and they burn. Tonight we shall dissect the Chinese version of Buhari. You know, they gave us the Buhari version. And if I would even like Amaka to post it, we did a comparison, two of them, the one from 2 weeks ago and the one from Monday. We dissect the two. Unbelievable. We are going to dissect the Chinese version. This is somebody that the few disease-free occupants of Asoro unveiled to the world on Monday night. From Cuba. They are still in Cuba, lying through their teeth. You don't see, the guy cannot show you when the man is coming in, cannot show you when he's leaving. Everywhere else in the world, when somebody is coming in, you see them. When they are leaving the podium, you see them. And have you seen the podium that they are using? It is collapsible. It's taken away. Can't you see the hinges? I keep asking myself, what sort of human beings are this? Can you see the hinges they have on it? So if Albert Yari is not well and going to India to receive treatment, they fold it and put it in the aeroplane. When they go there, they open it. It has his you fold. You know how stupid they are. They didn't think about it. They never, ever thought about it. Can you believe that? Can you believe that? Some say, oh, don't worry, it doesn't matter. How can you say it doesn't matter? That is why the police and the army are killing you and nobody's asking questions, because you brought your own ignorance upon yourself. Of course it matters. They are lying. They are deceiving you. If they are doing this to you, imagine what, no wonder they steal the money and they burn everywhere down. Because they know you can't do anything. They know, they are thinking that you cannot reason well enough. You cannot be reasonable enough to understand. You cannot be reasonable enough to understand, to put one and one together and get to. They are counting on that all the time. All the time they are counting on that. They are counting on your stupidity. You claim you're a president, you're a president. You say you're addressing us live. And where you're addressing us from doesn't exist in Asarok anywhere. There's going to be an old picture of Jonathan. Is it the same thing as that thing you're looking at? Not the same. It is not the same. It can never be. Since January 2017, we have been entertained by the British-made Buhari, Jubril, al-Sudani. Albert Yari brought him into impersonation. Your head of state that is dead. Instead of people to rise up and say that this is a joke anymore. They're saying, oh, leave it for us. So. Even if it's a ghost, leave it for us. So. And I keep asking myself, is how people are supposed to reason. But unfortunately for them, as in the last broadcast, they did not, there are no flights leaving. They know we track all the flights. They were not able to smuggle the full face mask of Buhari to the idiots that read the script on Monday. Go look at the neck. Once again, the hole is still there. And it's a very simple experiment. I don't know why we go to school, talk about instrumentation and trying to compare and contrast, and in real life we can't do it after we graduate from university. We don't do it anymore. Ask yourself this question. The idiot they said today met the EU, or was it yesterday, or the person they claim met Usibajo, is there any hole in his neck? Go and look at the mask he's wearing. Is there any hole in the mask? No. But any time someone makes or gives a speech or addresses 200 million people, there's always a hole in his neck. But the one in Asarok, I told you that one cannot speak. I told you before, he cannot talk. He is just there for photo op. No interview, nothing. Just photo op. Is there any hole in his mask? The answer is no. This is why Yoruba people working for Facebook have, I don't know how a race can come up and support evil rather support good. I don't know why they do it. I have no idea why they do it. I don't know why. I have no idea why a race of people can come instead of following the path of what is the truth, the light. They decide to work for evil. I don't know why. But the truth is there and I will speak it. I will speak it. It is the truth. Have you noticed that any time this thing speaks from wherever it is, which is in Cuba, you will see the hole in his neck. You see the takeaway box they have, the left hand that they have, which means you can fold it and take it away. Ask them, is that what is in Asarok? Are you telling me that it's Asarok briefing room that they will have hinges on their lectern? Of course not. Go and check every head of state in the world who is talking from their office. There is none with a hinge on it. Absolutely none, only in the zoo. Because we said, oh, doesn't take water. They brought water and took pictures and shot themselves in the foot in the process. How can you have a country run by people who Photoshop and manipulate pictures? How is that possible? And that's why they're killing you. If they can come and say, oh, this dog here is Buhari, can't you see? He is now younger. He went to London. He had his treatment. He is now 28 years younger. Can you see him? He said, oh, yeah. He's our president. That is why when you go after, they kill you. Because they know you're stupid. When you cry for food, cry, they keep quiet. They know you are stupid. You can't do nothing. That had you from the beginning said, no, this man is a fraud, by now they'll be feeding you very well in your homes because the money is there. Look at all the money they have stolen. The money is there to feed you, but they cannot because they reasoned, and quite rightly so, that you are foolish, you are stupid. When they brought Jubril, you never said anything to do anything they like and get away with it. There is a family that was eating. This is absolutely crazy. A family was eating, a family of 4. They cooked knives of one soup. They were eating. And the whole street descended on their house and attacked them and carried the pot of soup. Why? Because some of you have failed to embrace the truth. This happened in Ahaba. They call it Ahaba, but the name is Ahaba anyway. Whether that known is Ahaba. In Okwekwata, in Ahaba, in Delta State capital, they attacked the family and carried the pot of soup. You prefer to be behaving like a scavenging a hyena than to stand up and say that what is going on is not right. Let's fix it from the source. It's like somebody who is in a stream. Somebody standing at the source of the water of the spring. You know that the water is not clear. Something is put in the mud so that the water that comes down is quite muddy and unclear. And you're down, you fetch it, you put alum in it all the time so that the debris can settle and you drink it. Instead of you to go to the source and remove the idiot who is making your life a misery, you are down complaining, oh, there's not enough alum, there is not enough bucket to fetch water, but the water is very dirty. And the idiot causing it can see the food there, making a mess of your life. You want to know how America did it? You want to know how Russia did it? They did it by the world's what? That's how they did it. But you condone evil and you want life to be better, it can never be better. Say, oh, leave it, oh, hey, this country, we are suffering. You will suffer because when you see the truth, you turn the other way. Now you understand. In their last broadcast, also from Cuba, anybody with a pair of eyes can see that the hole is still there. Which means that the Chinese company did not do much work. Maybe they left Abakari to do it. When I told you that Abakari took Jubril with him, did you believe me? After 2 broadcasts now from Cuba, the eyes of people are now clear. They can see very clearly that it is a fraud. They can now see it very clearly. It is a fraud. The idiot in Africa cannot speak. Okay, the EU came. We had this interaction between them and the EU. Where is the video? Where you can hear his voice? No. You see him, cartoon character, moving his mouth, but nothing comes out of it. Look at his neck. It is closed because he is not the one in Cuba. Simple. Common sense that the world knows, of course. Somebody said, how can you be working about CIA knows? Is CIA for your country? Is it for the zoo? CIA is for USA, not for you. If you bring a police dog and say, this is His Excellency Muhammadu Buhari, they will salute the dog. That's what you want. You are the one that elected the moron. Anything you bring as the president, they will give diplomatic respect. You don't know that? Of course, you don't learn anything in school. What do you learn? The time now is approximately, should I say, 15 minutes past 8 p.m. in Biafra land, and the same number of hours, minutes, of course, past the hour, wherever you are on this earth. We are dissecting the zoo, line by line, piece by tearing them apart. They will have nowhere to hide. After this exposure, I'm not sure they'll do any more Photoshop. The question I'm asking is, every time, why Photoshop? Look at Femi Adesina's leg in one of his own Photoshops. In his own page, he posted on Facebook, his leg was broken. One leg is wearing sandals, the other one is wearing a shoe. And the people see these things, the conscientious, people that have degrees, people that say we have a PhD in journalism, they see all these things with their 2 eyes. Ask them, why are you not writing about it? Oh, no. You see the idiot will go there. All he's thinking about is when next they will go and loot their own. 2023, 2028, 2092. That is all that bothers them. What is afflicting you now as you're running and chasing a van full of bread, as you're going about and stealing okra soup from people, they don't give a damn. And you that is going about, behaving like a criminal, maybe sue some of us. That's what you want. Because you failed to remove the man at the source of the water well or spring that is messing everything up. That is why they kill you. That is why they'll continue to kill you. That's why every checkpoint you come to, if you don't give them money, they kill you. They will always continue. And as they're doing it, the Fulanis are invading. Everywhere is falling. Do you know that they took about Obanam? I get what of that. As you're saying, look, that Fulani is coming. Their invasion is ongoing as we speak. And one day now, people will blame IPOB and say, oh, you were there and they took Obanam. Why wouldn't they take it? When we told you to prepare us, did you prepare us? The answer is no. I can't fight on 8 fronts at the same time. Men are dying every blessed day. You contribute nothing, and people are hungry. We spend money, we feed them as the best as we can. It's not even enough. This will teach everybody. By the time Fulani is done with all of you, by the time they are done with all of you, in your next life, you will be praying that any child you give birth to will be like an IPOB member. I'm telling you the truth. Complete in your stupidity. As I'm speaking, write it down. What is today's date? 15th day of April. Write it down. Let the dust of COVID settle. You will see what's going to happen to you. Let all of you, out of your stupid envy and jealousy, you are eating yourselves up instead of facing the enemy. Facing the enemy. You're busy attacking all of you, not all of you. Look, this is what you get. Somebody has written very cleverly, and I believe completely. What we have now is a motion picture. Every an episode is like a drama. It's like a drama. I call it how to fake it, how to manufacture an African president. Anybody can manufacture anybody. Go and get the mask and put on the idiot and talk him out. And they pay Yoruba media very well. They will say it is hey Baba, they don't do anything for me. Men without shame and honor. There is no shame, there is no honor. That is why they respect IPOB. That is ATU. When they go, forget all the nonsense they write. When they go back, they say, darling, I wish I'm like IPOB. Those things they're doing, I can't do it. They praise us behind our back, not finding the rubbish they write on social media. They praise us. They call and they tell us, we admire what you're doing. We cannot do it. This is what happened on Monday is the episode 2 of season 1. It takes them 2 weeks to release. They will write a script. They will be preparing. Every 2 weeks they release one. Every 2 weeks they release one. Then they edit and they Photoshop. Once the Photoshopping is ready with the edit, they turn it out. And 200 million people will lap it up. And the white people are there thinking, we should have stayed there longer, and ignored all their calls for independence. That is something that the Chinese now know. The Chinese have come. You know what they're going to do? They are going to kill as many of us as possible. They will take over our resources, our government. There is nothing we can do about it because we are dumb. Very, very useless. What are we going to do? What are we going to do? I'm asking. If they invited themselves into Nigeria, what will you do? Nothing. Nothing. You can't do anything. And somebody has given the film a credit. It's quite funny, isn't it? Featuring Jubril al-Sudani acting as Buhari. The audience is 200 million sophisticated morons. Somebody called a group of people sophisticated morons. I think that is quite appropriate. Bundled together as experimental animals by the British. The location is in Havana. That's the film location. You know when a movie finishes, that credit that rolls at the end. I'm reading it for you. After Monday's debacle from Havana, Cuba. The location manager is Garba Sheku, and the production manager is Femi Adesina. The welfare is Ms. Farouk, and the executive producer is, of course, China. Is their production. This is Chinese version of Buhari. And I consider the co-producers to be the British High Commission in Abuja, Channel TV, Punch newspaper, the African Union, Afenifere, Arewa, and Ohanese. They are the backup co-producers because they see a lie in front of them, and they condone it. And they say that you want to call it an elder. An elder, and the evil is happening in front of you. You cannot get up and say to Sultan, this nonsense to put there is not Buhari. You cannot say, and you want me to call you an elder. An elder. As they say in Igbo language, you will case on energy. You don't know who you are. The director is Femi Adesina, the master photoshopper. The script was written in United Kingdom and screenplay is by Abatian. That's what in 2 weeks now they bring another one. Wait for the broadcast, live broadcast. Everybody should tune into NTA. It's something they have done before. How many of you who are claiming they are clever are actually listen to the speech? So, hey, Baba has spoken from Asorok. If he was talking from Asorok, how come he could not do the program live? If he was talking from Asorok, how come? Do you know what he said? Do you know what he said? He said the lockdown will continue on Monday. And he was talking on Monday night. He's saying the lockdown will continue on Monday, which shows that he recorded it in Havana, Cuba. He was talking on a Monday, and he said the lockdown will start on a Monday. Some of you all ignored it, but it's there for the whole world to see. Let us start from the beginning. Why did they not show us Jubril when he was walking up to the podium to speak? If at all they claim they cannot show you. The photos that Femi Adesina is releasing, why don't you release it before this man comes? Why can't the camera you're using to film it? Why can't the camera pan to the left or to the right or up and down? It's only straight at the whiteboard behind. Are you asking yourself that very question? But immediately they finish, hey, every manner of Photoshop will be everywhere. Let on using different avatar accounts on Facebook will be tossing it out everywhere. And some of you will be laughing it off. And they want the Chinese not to experiment on you. The Chinese have looked at the whole, why did they choose Nigeria? They chose that they have looked at the whole Jubilee Fire and said if 200 million do not actually know who is the head of state or who they voted for, let us go and experiment with them. Those people are useless. They are lower than animals. That's why they're in the zoo. Experimenting on people. Do you now understand it? Do you now understand why the Chinese are there? Why they have come to experiment with you? Because if 200 million people can use ordinary video and the poorly edited Photoshop picture to deceive all of you, that means you're not reasonable. That means you're good to be chased out of your hotel rooms in China. That means also that you people are ripe for experimentation. That's why they are in the zoo. Unbelievable. There are intellectuals everywhere. There are senators. There are doctors. You see them on their TV. This intellectual, they'll be talking rubbish. Nigeria is an animal kingdom, even worse. Even worse. This is something worse than colonialism, something far worse than nepotism, something worse than tribalism, something worse than idiocy. This is evil. You will see the pictures being posted by a marker, of course. You will see the Chinese version of the 13th of April, and then you will also see the British version. Look at the holes in the neck. You will see it. Look at that, that full stop they put to the left side of his mouth. Look at it very clearly. Can you see it? They have done some improvement. At least the mask is no more slipping. The eyelid, they try to align it very well, a little bit, the eyelid. But the hole is still there in the neck because they cannot take another mask to Havana, Cuba. There's a flight ban in Cuba. Nobody can come in. Now you understand it? Now you can understand it. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Post it, let them tell me that there's no difference. Look at the lectern being used by Jubril. Can you see the hinges there? If this thing is permanently in the press center in Asoro, tell me why it will, why they need to fold it. Where are they taking it to? Can you see it there? Where are they taking it to? I'm asking them. Where are you going with it? Is it the potted plant? Check the old broadcast and the new one. In the old broadcast, did you see the floor was sparkling like glass, shining? Even the image of their so-called president was reflecting on the floor. Even the lectern itself was reflecting on the floor. Lectern, Lectern, please quote me correctly. That is the stuff you come to speak to people. Let me call it podium for now. Anyway, look at it. It was reflecting on the glass floor. All of a sudden, surprise, within a question of 2 weeks, they have removed the glass floor. They have put in another one, tile. They think they are playing with idiots. They don't know that we have them. It's a presidency by Photoshop. I maintain there is nobody in that rock. Nobody ever theory is down. Your Ghostbuster is down. All of them, they are down. They are all down with coronavirus. They are hiding and lying to all of you. And sadly, he even has a glass of water. I have mine. Let me take a sip. A speech of 19 minutes. He had a glass of water with him. Did he ever sip water? The answer is no. He doesn't want to move his neck because of the mask, the rubber mask he's wearing. Look at his throat. They're not able to change it. They've done a better job in terms of aligning the eyelid and the eyebrow, but look at the hole in the neck. It is still there. Instead of Nigerians to ask themselves, what is that hole doing on his neck? Nobody is asking. That is even for us. That is why they kill you. That is why they don't give you any bread. That is why there is no food. That is why you are scavenging like a wild beast in the Serengeti, looking for food to eat. And these are your so-called leaders, people who are liars and deceivers. Let's see how far they're going to go. We are going to start our tweets tonight. We know that the whole world is involved with coronavirus. But I want, because what got me angry is the EU. They went and hired a few white people in Abuja, said it's EU. EU never went to rock. EU did not go to Aso Rock. They hired a few people, a few corrupt diplomats in Abuja, gave them face masks, and said, "Go, let us go and take pictures in Aso Rock." They say EU. They think we don't know them. There is no EU is not going anywhere. EU, the people are fighting for their lives. They said EU. What EU? There are the pictures everywhere. Everywhere you see it with your 2 eyes. You know the man is not Buhari. Everybody knows, but they are afraid to say it. They are afraid to speak the truth. And that is why when you go out, the policeman will kill you, the army will kill you, civil defense will kill you, because they see you as a fool. You don't ask questions. You don't ask questions. Very, very sad indeed. The pictures we have gotten from Femi Adesina's page. So there will be no doubt whatsoever. Go and look at the leg of Femi Adesina. One, he was wearing slippers. The other one is a shoe. One is sandal slippers. The other one is a shoe. The same person, the movie director. Unbelievable. People see this. People see this things and they keep quiet. And you also expect us to keep quiet. Of course, we are not going to keep quiet. Look at the Jubil, the version in Asorok, talking to the claim is talking to the Yoshibata. Look at his neck. There is no hole. Look at the neck of the one in Cuba. There is a hole. Why can't black people read? Why can't you read it? Let me now tell you. Do you see the picture that was taken of Jubril from the back? Hey, this is what they think they are good liars. But I don't know why Yoruba will allow their sons to get involved in this type of scheme, lying and deceiving people. It doesn't encourage me to be in the same country with the people that will deliberately be turning out falsehood. I'm telling you, it's rather disgraceful. Look at the picture taken of Jubril from the back. Look at the real picture. You will see a scanner. You know that airport scanner you have? When you're coming into somewhere, they scan you. Can you see it there? This is a banquet hall in Havana, Cuba, in a hotel in the where before you come in, they search you to see if you have any metal or if you have any guns on you. Can you see it there? Can you see it? They photoshopped it. They wanted to use cotton to cover it. Can you see? Some of you, are you blind? You cannot see that thing that the scanner, the airport scanner. Can you see it there? What is it doing there? Can't you see it? Can all of you not see it? Are you blind? You cannot see the scanner? Are you that blind? You cannot see the scanner? Is there any scanner in Aso Rock, the picture that they showed you Jonathan and Buhari? Is there any scanner there? Oh, shy, black people. Black. No wonder the Chinese came to remain with us. No wonder there is hunger everywhere, all across Africa. People riot for food and they kill them. People come out to ask for food and they kill them. This is why, because our brains are not working. Our brain cells are not working. The way we reason is horrible. The way black people reason. Oh my God in heaven, it is horrible. Can you see the scanner? Airport. Oh, unbelievable. You're telling me that these are the corrupt people that the EU officials went to give money to? Is that what you're telling me? People that sit on the stage, they stage something, it's like a drama. They stage a drama, and 200 million people will be lapping it up. A drama. Unbelievable. What this means is that if at all, which of course I know is not true, if at all, or if indeed some diplomats went from the coronavirus infected us or which I doubt, then they must be benefiting from this very rampant felony corruption. How can they give money to people who are naturally incompetent and incapable of running any government? Only by using Photoshop pictures. Look at Femi Adesina. Nobody can ask Femi Adesina, what happened to your leg here? Did you have an accident? How come you're wearing shoe on your left leg, your right leg, you're wearing slippers? Oh my God. Unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. Well, let me tell you why they treat us the way they do. Foreign people. Why there's racism in China. Do you know what Onyema said? Some of you don't know who the foreign minister is, Onyema. When you have people being ruled by photographs and by 200 million people, by Photoshop, edited video, the Buhari is no longer there. They edit video and they give to them, they accept it. Let me tell you that is why the Chinese have come. That is why the world sees us as a people who are incapable of human development and civilization. Do you know that Nigerian foreign minister let me tell you the headline. Nigerian foreign minister rejects rumor of discrimination in Guangzhou in China. After seeing, even this foreign minister of Nigeria is an Igbo man. After seeing it very clearly before his own eyes that the person that shot the video is actually an Igbo man. Onyema is also an Igbo man. Of course, he lives in England. His father was a traitor, so is he a traitor as well. He's from Udi. His father was Onyema Neke. Onyema Neke, in fact, that's the correct pronunciation. Onyema Neke. He was a warrant chief. The father of this foreign minister was a warrant chief in our land appointed by the British to suppress our people. So his own treachery is by bloodline. Onyema's father, listen carefully to this. Some of you know Eze Ozubu, the late Chief Justice of Enugu State, Justice Eze Ozubu. Some of you know him. Justice Eze Ozubu's sister was Onyema Neke's wife. The man caught her because she rejected him. Caught the Onyema Neke, who is the father of this Geoffrey Onyema. What I'm telling you is fact. They wonder how I get this information, but I know. I read it in British papers. This Geoffrey Onyema, the foreign minister, the father was a traitor. The father was a warrant chief. The father committed an abominable crime. The father killed the sister of the late Eze Ozubu, who was the wife and the lover. Killed two of them. The British, out of anger, invited him to come to London. They wanted to send him to the Caribbean on exile, I believe, to King Jaja of Opobo. On his way to Iguacha, in a train going to Iguacha, he committed suicide. Go and ask anybody. This is a family of traitors. Onyema Joffrey is a family of traitors. This man heard somebody speaking Igbo, doing a video saying, this is how they're treating us. This is, see what the Chinese are doing to us. He came out to say, listen carefully, that the value, this is what he said, Onyama said that the viral videos on social media platforms has been causing concern to people in Nigeria until a Nigerian businessman in Banjul posted an audio clip explaining what happened. A businessman. We want to hear who the businessman is. Maybe an Igbo man again in Banjul, seeking to make money. This is an Igbo man who is the Nigerian foreign minister. His video was shot by an Igbo person speaking Igbo saying this is what they're doing to us. An Igbo man who is the foreign minister of Nigeria gave an interview and said, oh my God, so sad, that the video is not correct, that is a lie. That what the businessman said in the audio tape is what he would accept. That what happened in the video is not real. Foreign minister. This Jeffrey Onyama said that his own people were not being maltreated in China. The same thing that I won't say here, and the same thing that everybody covered. The videos went viral everywhere. There was even a sign of a restaurant, I think it's McDonald's, saying we don't want any black people here. That today, McDonald's actually apologized for what they did. Yes, a foreign minister of Nigeria said no, that those things never happened. Do you see what is that? Do you see when you accept that a picture, a video should be your president, this type of treatment you get? I told you they don't love you and they will never love you. I told you that. This is why Chinese company CCECC took it upon themselves as part of what they call corporate responsibility to bring their people to conduct experiments on black people in Nigeria, on black people in Africa, on black people in Biafra land to test their vaccine. When Chinese people have not been vaccinated, they brought vaccine to the zoo. Let me see who will take it in Biafra land. That family will be closed down. No vaccine. These are the things you hear. Then you know that sometimes the truth can be stranger than fiction. A whole foreign minister that should be defending people who are being maltreated in China is telling you that he doesn't believe that people are being maltreated because they're giving him money. Do you see black people? Do you see why Africa is backwards? He is an Igbo man. He is a Biafran. Anyway, he said he's not a Biafran. He's an Igbo man. He's an Igbo man. Do you see how wicked these people are? Do you see how cold and heartless they are? Do you see how evil? Do you see how evil these people are? As somebody rightly said, it's happening in Africa, not just in the zoo, across the whole of Africa, the whole of black Africa, is a classic failure of leadership across all fronts and all divides. The supposed intellectual base they claim they have has either crumbled under the sheer weight of mediocrity, or they have become maybe frustrated by the stupidity of the people that they are governing, or those that they are ruling. Because black people have stubbornly failed to yield to reason. The same thing that is happening in the zoo. They have failed to yield to reason. Facebook can remove everybody they like. That is their business. People are listening on other platforms. They must know it. They must understand this very, very carefully. They must know that people are listening, and they must listen to this very gospel this evening. Our approach here of speaking the truth always, and in the manner that we do, is so that we can inform people based on facts that not every African nation or people are as stupid as the others. Some of us have failed to reason and articulate things properly. When I see and hear how black people are being humiliated all over the world, it makes me wonder sometimes exactly why, of what purpose were we made? Why did God create us? Because God couldn't have created me. He couldn't have created Biafrans with the mind that we have only for us to become slaves whilst we are alive. That is impossible, will never happen. Our situation, both as black people and as Africans in general, should have serious concern. In the course of my research for this program tonight, I came across very harrowing visual images and audio of lamentations that, honestly, quite frankly, belong to a previous era. We are still being enslaved. We are still being humiliated, not just by foreigners, but by African people in the shape of African governments. These are African governments led by black people like ourselves. Their main aim in life is to oppress and to subjugate black population. Unbelievable. This got me thinking, and for the best, honestly, I thought there must be something wrong with our ability to comprehend and apply common sense in how we process information and knowledge, and how we apply it, in our daily lives. What we are going through in Africa as Africans is worse than slavery in the plantations of the Caribbean and the Americas. Much worse than colonialism or even apartheid. It's not even in apartheid did white people treat blacks in some way that black governments are treating black people in Africa. And people are quiet. If you make noise, they'll bring that, hey, he has spoken. He will talk again in 2 weeks' time. Unbelievable. These people talk like us. They come from our villages, like Onyama. He's from Udi, Nnamdi State. The white folks in Europe and across the world cannot understand why African leaders treat their people the way they do. Sometimes they wonder in amazement. That is why China decided to come to Africa and take over the whole of Africa. Because China has to. You people think that technology is bad. Wait until you get Chinese one. They will poison on everything. You will die off. They have nuclear weapons. They are developing their own sun. They have everything. America cannot fight them. U.S. cannot fight them. That is the fact. So China might as well do whatever it likes and you get away with it. You get away with it. China has sat down, believe you, China sat down and looked at Africa, looked at black people. As one diplomat said, you have more doctors in Los Angeles, you have more doctors in California. More doctors in California than you have. These are black doctors claiming they come from. You have more of them in California than the whole of Nigeria as a whole. So the Chinese sat down, unlike the British that came in a hurry to steal a few resources. The Chinese sat down and said, God will not miss these people if we kill all of them. That's why they have come. God will miss them. Because you remember there is a place in the New Testament that Christians read all the time. Remember the parable of where Yeshua was speaking and said, I will take from those who do not have and give it to those that have. As God tonight. That's what's happening now. Because God gave Africa all these things and Africans refuse to reason. God is now saying, okay, I will give it to the Chinese. And I will give you also to the Chinese. Since you have failed to reason, I will take whatever you have. I will give it to the Chinese. That is why they have come. Now you understand it? Stupidity has a price. A very steep price. Ignorance has a price. And we are paying it. That is why when they come outside, they kill you. You ask for bread, you are shot dead. Because in the song we are preparing Photoshop, saying, oh, Buhari is in power. That is, oh my God. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Our situation as black people gives every right-thinking person a serious concern. Serious concern. My desire in life is to see black people across Africa free. To see us do the railway maybe from Cape Town all the way to Algiers. It's one continent, one landmass. Isn't it very funny? For you to travel from South Africa, Johannesburg to Algiers in Algeria, you first need to fly to France. Hey, black people, unbelievable, unbelievable in this day and age. The shameful pictures and videos of ill treatment of our brothers and sisters in China has not drawn the condemnation of World Health Organization. United Nations have not spoken. But when Trump referred to COVID-19 as Chinese virus, or if you say Chinese virus, Facebook will shut you down. Everybody will be complaining. You will be saying it's racist. That is why they don't want people to listen to this gospel on my Facebook page. That's why. If you call it, it came from China, call it Chinese virus. No, it's racism. But when Chinese are treating black people very badly, did you hear what the UN speak? The answer is no, because even the UN, they know that Africans are stupid. They know that very well. They saw those idiots. If you wave a fake picture in front of them and say, this is your president, by photograph, they'll accept. Well, why should we be bothering ourselves? It is time for Africans to rise up and to reason for themselves. To reason, which is what makes you human. Ask yourselves why the UN will not speak, why World Health Organization will not speak. Why is it that nobody cares about African people, including leaders in Africa, that made Onyama to get up and say that what happened in Guangzhou did not happen after all? When he had somebody speaking Igbo saying, look at how they're treating us. He is an Igbo man, he said it. But because of the money he will make, the money they have given him from this Chinese company, CCECC, his father was a traitor. His father was a traitor, serving British interest in Enugu. The father of Onyama, Grand Act, serving the colonial masters as a house nigger. That's what the son is doing. Denying his own people. But these are your leaders. One of the idiots right now from the I said, is Onyama the he's one of your leaders? He's an elite. This idiot denying his own people in China is an elite. That's what we call elitism in Africa. No one of the Chinese have come. This time you will know what is proper colonization. They will come with virus. What they have come to do is to test their new virus, the one that is heat resistant. That's what they have come. They have come to make sure that 5G is going on very well. All the equipment they have is on Huawei. All the equipment they have for 5G. Once they switch it on, it will fry your immune defense system in your body. Once it fries it, then any disease you catch will kill you. Ask yourself, why is it that they're going for immune suppressing viruses? They will evade the immune system. Why? The same thing with HIV, manufactured in the lab. The same thing with this one. Who hasn't seen that very video of Jing Dr. Jing Li, that manufactured this very one, that went into the cave and brought a bat and put a crown? She was the one that said that this disease can now be transmitted from person to person. A Chinese scientist. You people are in a big man in Africa. There you will know that God is angry with you. In Africa, we've been deceiving ourselves, clapping in Pentecostal churches, going to Mecca. Now you will know that your ignorance is going to be punished. God will punish your ignorance. That ignorance you have, that somebody will doctor a video and show you, you accept. Somebody will take it and show you and you accept. Now, God is going to punish all of us. You see, you are about to see chaos. Because there is a limit to stupidity. Every species on earth, there is a limit. The stupidity being exhibited in Nigeria is unforgivable. Unforgivable stupidity. You cannot rise up in a revolution. In this, how many guns do they have? They are holding everybody hostage. Hostage. And they're all quiet. As if nothing is happening. God has given you the Chinese. And your lives will never be the same again, I assure you. Prepare to go to church for prayer and fasting. But as you're going to all those less Pentecostal churches, I'll be telling you live on air that your stupidity is going with you. Why can't we be free? Have you asked yourself that question? Why can we not be free? With no simple railway line connecting one country to the other. They don't even know the own country they decide. They have no clue. What idiot woke up one morning? Almighty woke up. We close the border now. Close the border just like that, with no regard for the rule of law. Do you know there's something I discovered? There is this very uncanny similarity between Biafra and the suffering people all over the continent of Africa. Do you know that Biafra, like Africa, listen very carefully to this. The same way that from Katina, from Sokoto, from Abuja, from Brunei, is how Africa is being controlled from Europe, from Asia, and to an extent from North America. That's what it is. You know what? Do you know what Biafra and Africa has in common? The leaders don't give a damn if you live or you die. It doesn't matter to them. As long as they can buy their flats in Dubai. The same way that the Biafran governors kill Biafrans or bring out troops to kill IPOB agitators for their masters in the north is how Africans show their relation to build their masters abroad. That is why you can never hear CNN say, oh, it's terrible. People were shot dead on the streets of Nigeria, protesting for food. Oh, how sad. How do you never hear them say it? Never. Not in the 3 years. Because the army and the police are doing them a favor. They're helping them to reduce the population of these black monkeys from Africa. Now you understand. Do you understand? This takes us to what we must accept individually tonight as being our problem, our inability to reason and act upon reason. You not only reason, you act on that very reason. Look at Yoruba people always fighting the Igbos, either openly or secretly. Not all of them, a few of them. These are the East and the West, the South of so-called Lugadian Nigeria. They are the most educated and the most enlightened ethnic groups. But in their bickering, in their stupidity, and in their not even in the bickering of you, because I'm not sure that the Biafrans are fighting Yoruba. It's them always fighting us for no reason. In the bickering of the Yoruba, Fulani is looting and burning, controlling everybody, in charge of the air, in charge of the army, in charge of the police, in charge of customs. If you ask Yoruba, oh please, I don't. The Yoruba man is, don't let any man come close, please. That's I tell them the truth. On Radio Biafra, I speak the truth. You may not like it, but if you go back and sleep, you will say to yourself, Nnamdi Kanu is speaking the truth. That is the truth. They are busy fighting each other. Or should I say, Yoruba is conniving. That is why that is why we are distributing thousands upon thousands of bags of rice. Somebody says it's only 40. The same editor. It's not from the journalist, it is from the editor of Punch newspaper. He's Yoruba. He wants to spy. He wants people to laugh at him on the Kanu. He only gave people 40 bags of rice. Can you imagine such wickedness? Can you imagine such evil in a human being that went to university, graduated, is the editor of a newspaper? Editor of a newspaper. Such lies, can you believe that? They are always fighting the fights they should not be fighting. Meanwhile, the Fulani is looting and burning. And all that, oh my God in heaven, all that they have is to fight a fight that nobody is there to confront them about. We are not fighting you. We are fighting for our freedom. If the oil in Biafra land is your problem, I've told you before, we'll give it to you for free. We don't need it. I will sign documents for you and to take to guarantee oil supply and gas to you. We don't need it. Biafrans do not need oil and gas to survive. We don't need it. Yoruba, I am warning you tonight. No, it's an advice. Please, I'm sorry. It's not warning, it's an advice. The same behavior and you have now was why you lost a Lauren. If I'm a Yoruba, before I come out and speak, I first of all look at the shame of a Lauren. Do you know why I like the Chinese? I mean, I can't say I like them, but do you know why I have regard for them? You know that in Africa, when during independence, as the colonial masters were living, Africans were celebrating and dancing on the streets. I remember very clearly in 1999, Lord Patton handed over Hong Kong to China. You know what he said that day? The man bowed his head. The man accepted Hong Kong from Britain. He bowed his head. and said 100 years of shame has come to an end. These see men with honor how they behave. But in Africa, we are dancing, bringing out masquerade, jumping up and down. But to a Chinese, what mattered to them was their honor, because if you don't have honor, you don't have pride, you're finished. You are not a human being. You must have pride and honor to be a dignified human being. But in Africa, we are dancing the masquerade. And the BBC, today, Nigeria is now free. And they come, can we speak to Kazikiwe? Can we speak to Awolowo? Can we speak to Tafawa Balewa? Idiots, we are dancing. China bound in shame and said 100 years of humiliation has come to an end. Look at where they are today. If you don't have pride and honor, you're nothing. I want Yoruba to learn. If I'm a Yoruba person, I swear to God I won't speak in public. Before I speak, I first of all think of the Lauren and ask myself, how did we lose a Lauren to the Fulani? But they have no shame. No shame. I'm saying it, no shame. If they have shame, no Yoruba will talk outside until you go and reclaim a Lauren. And the only way you can reclaim a Lauren is to be after. Never can you reclaim a Lauren. They have bombed Lagos. They're asking Amotekun, what do you have? Bring it, let's see. They are in your forest as you're busy fighting the Igbo man, as you're busy fighting Biafra, as you're busy fighting IPOB. Fulani are entering inside you. And tomorrow you want us to react when they attack you with this level of evil that you're perpetrating? Oh, please. Get a life. Get a life. Unbelievable. A Lauren should always guide Yoruba straightly. Before you become a traitor, look at the Lauren. That one has lost a Lauren. Think very well before you decide to deceive and become a traitor. Look at all the foremost intellectuals: Bishop Shanahan, Ajayi Crowder, Dimiari, Azikiwe Awolowo. They were used against their own people. They promised Azikiwe everything. Azikiwe wanted to rule an empire he did not create. White man came and created the zoo as an empire, as a supermarket. Gave it to the Fulani. Azikiwe was strong he could to be the prime minister of Nigeria. They told him, no, we can't give it to you. Maybe next time. It was actually the people that did not fight the British that they gave everything to. Instead of Awolowo and Zeke to come together to form a new alliance of the South against the North. Both of them were busy bickering. Who will be the leader? Who will be the deputy? And that's some nonsense continues today. But I'm very thankful and grateful to God for IPOB. We are not like that. We love the Yoruba people. I do personally. I have I'm a Winster friend. I have to have bond with Yoruba land. And I want them to change, to become consistently truthful people, as some of them are. The problem is that it's always that Yoruba Muslim, that man from Kwara, Latif Akonde, such names. You see them. Taiwo Lawal. They are the ones that have issues. They are the worst of the worst. Suffering from the worst kind of Stockholm syndrome as a conquered people. I pray to God to relieve them of that very burden and the Lord. Nigeria Health Minister Dr. Osagie Ehanile came on television to say that Nigerian government did not invite the Chinese to come into the country. And people are just there clapping for him. Who invited them? But the same government acknowledged that the Chinese came. The same government went to the airport to come pick them up. Because they look at the 200 million people as a bunch of idiots. They can lie to you and get away with it. So why would they lie to you? Why would they lie to you? If they can dangle a fake picture in front of you and you agree, why would they lie and get away with it? Impunity. Impunity. The Chinese doctors came into the zoo at the invitation of a Chinese construction company. So the new Nigerian government now is CCECC as a Royal Niger company that was British owned, was many years ago. They are hoping to help the Nigerian government to battle the spread of the novel coronavirus, which they themselves, the Chinese, created. The Chinese created it. So that is to say that the Chinese men the government brought into the country, as the health minister, are not even medical doctors. Rather, they are construction workers. These people that kept the invited by a company. You don't know who they invited. You don't know if these are their spies or that. Nothing. But you have NIA, National Intelligence Agency. You have DSS. Yeah. Only when it comes to clamping down on people who don't agree with you, you have the intelligence services are working. This is what intelligence should have spotted. Are these people coming in? Did they mean well for us or not? You didn't. It's anything. Running from house to house, looking for a journalist to arrest. We are acting on intelligence. When the time for intelligence came, they were nowhere to be found. Useless set of people. What a joke of the country. You went to the fountain, to the foundation of COVID-19 and brought people. You claim without anybody knowing. In the middle of a lockdown. Unbelievable. Who approved the letter of invitation to start with? What type of visa did they come in with? So a foreign company can come now and bring in people into the country without anyone knowing. And you ask the minister, he will say, we didn't know about it, but we now welcome them. Anyway, I think they're buying the recharge cards now from Loretto Onoche. They moved it now to 10,000. If you want 10,000 naira, please apply. They'll give it to you. If you are attacking Nnamdi Kanu and IPOB, they'll give it to you. I don't know how they're paying Facebook. I'm sure it's quite a lot. They must be paying Facebook quite a lot of money to be attacking us. I'm sure. If you want to join the Iraq, to be attacking IPOB, you cannot actually make money from it. It's 10,000 naira. They will pay you from us off. So you join them. They recruit you and you join them. Maybe they'll give you a Quran and you swear, and then you can join them from there. But it is not just me. Not just me. There are people all over the place, all over the world who are complaining. They know what I know, that it will take actually black people themselves to free themselves from the mess. From the mess, it will take black people to remove themselves from the mess they are in. That is one thing we ought to know. That is one thing that black people need to understand. And the sooner we understand it, the better for everybody. Because right now we are in one almighty mess. If you cannot tell two people apart in a picture, if you cannot tell a shiny floor from a tiled floor, if you cannot tell that a lantern is foldable, can be used anywhere, then you are in a very serious mess. Look at the leg of the master forger himself. Femi Adesina is broken. His leg is broken, and nobody's asking one and the sandal on the other one, and your leg appears to be out of place. Nobody will ask. Nobody. Why are we asking? Because we are Africans. We don't ask questions. We don't act on reason. We act on primitive, crude impulses. Very, very sad indeed. Extremely sad. Let me try and see if I can play this very interview for the world to understand the mess that African people are in. The mess we are in. I want you to listen to this very lady diplomat.
Welcome to the conversation.
Listen.
IMF, World Bank, other institutions, they make African countries just loans. Loans will never be able to pay. The U.S., when they borrow money, they're getting it at 1.5, 1.9 interest rate. Africans, when they get the same amount of money, they're paying 9, 10%. The people who don't need a break, they get a break. The ones who need a break, they don't get a break. The sheer survival of the World Bank IMF is based on the fact that African countries and many other developing countries do not succeed. Their success is based on our failure. That has to change. And guess who can make that change? We, the children of Africa. We, the Africans, are the ones who have to say, we know your game now. Enough is enough. We're not playing it anymore. And this is where the diaspora come in. There are more Ghanaian doctors in New York City than in the entire country of Ghana. There are more Nigerian doctors in LA than in the entire country of Nigeria. So let's be serious here. What Africa needs is capacity, capacity, capacity. And that capacity is in the diaspora. So it would behoove
Are you listening? Only you can solve. That lady is actually the Africa Union representative to the United States, if I'm not mistaken. If I am not mistaken. Sorry, the AU ambassador to the US. I'm correct. Africa Union ambassador to the US. Are you listening at all to what she's saying? Action lies with you to decide where you go from here. She told you now. They don't love you. They will never love you. And how do you even expect a white man to love you when you have only, how can I put it, a picture and a video running your lives? You want a white man. You know, a white man will prefer respect you than to love you. Respect. You see US, they respect China. They don't need to love China. What China wants is respect, and they have it. What South Korea needs is respect, and they have it. What Singapore needs is respect, not your love, and they have it. In Africa, we keep looking for love. Look for people to respect you by virtue of what you can do. That's the way it is. That is the way it is. Unbelievable. 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 It is crazy. This is crazy. We don't share any post about Biafra. It's Yoruba people on Facebook. And tomorrow, when they kill one of them, they will ask us to start protesting, to start saying that things are wrong in Nigeria. That's what they will say. But when they are helping to dig their own grave, they don't know that by trying to suppress the truth, they are digging their own grave. The woman has said it. Things are happening. Things are happening. Things are happening. That is why a whole minister will rise up and say that what is happening in China is not correct or is not true. Very, very sad indeed. And they went to China and they brought people. The same AU ambassador to US is telling you they don't love you from outside. They do not love you. They can never ever love you. Do our people understand? No, they do not understand. Will they ever understand? Of course not. Wave a piece of paper in front of them, they will tell you, oh, that is Baba. That is Baba. Is Baba. Baba is speaking. That is how sad our lives have become. With ordinary Photoshop picture, you can be controlling 200 million people. Tell me why the Chinese will not come. Tell me why the Chinese experiment with us. Tell me why we should be regarded as human beings. Tell me why they should not invent more viruses to come and kill us in Africa. Let us listen to who actually caused this problem of corona and ask yourself, if the people ruling the zoo have your interest at heart, will they involve the Chinese that actually created this virus? Listen very carefully to this, please.
How much of this do you think is coronavirus and, whatever's going on with U.S. and China? How much of this do you think is China saying, you know what, screw you, U.S. You're playing this hardball with me. I'm going to come and bully you in a whole different way that you won't even pay attention to it. How much credibility do you give to that? 5%? 1%?
I'm not going to answer that question, but I am going to answer the question in a different way. Because I'm Christian at heart, and I like to think that nobody would want to kill people. I will say this much, and if you're listening, write it down. In late November, word had already gotten off of the mainland that there was a virus in Wuhan. On January the 15th, the trade bill was signed, phase 1. December the 15th. I had a home off, December the 15th. 6 weeks later, the trade truce was signed with an out clause.
There was virus in Wuhan in China, and China did not tell anybody. They wanted people to die. China never told anyone, and they came to the USA. Well, they had a trade deal with Trump, and Trump signed it. And in that trade deal, there was a clause, should there be any natural disaster, any act of God, then we will no longer honor this very deal that we are signing today. Listen very carefully, please.
A very clever out clause that the Chinese made sure was in there that said if there was any kind of act of God, pandemic, then they didn't have to they'd committed to buy from the United States.
Exactly.
Within days, they announced the first coronavirus.
Mm-hmm.
So, did the Chinese know well that this thing was running around the world for 6 weeks?
They knew.
Before they shut down Wuhan? Yes, they did. Is that criminal? Yes, it is. Does it deserve to go in front of a world tribunal? Yes, it does.
They must face the music.
Because we know that it was unfettered travel that made this thing a global phenomenon. It was impossible. 6 weeks they knew, but they wanted that out clause. And then they underreported what happened in Wuhan.
They're underreporting.
A toddler could tell you, based on what happened in Italy, based on what's happened in Germany and in France, and now in the UK with Boris Johnson in the ICU. There's no way in a city the size of New York, 11 million people, that there were so few cases. It's impossible.
Impossible.
Similar density to New York.
Impossible.
So the World Health Organization should be held accountable for not holding China accountable.
Are you listening to it? Do you know why Trump said he will not send any more money to World Health Organization? These are journalists and analysts, intelligent people. China, when did you know there was a virus outbreak? November. When did you tell the world? In December. Why did you take 6 weeks? Since this thing can be transmitted from person to person, why did you take 6 weeks? They can't explain, because they want to overtake USA. They want to be the first superpower in the world. They signed a trade agreement. And in that trade agreement, having created coronavirus in their lab in Wuhan Institute of Virology, they released it to buy anything from US. They want the world to keep buying from them, so they will maintain a healthy trade balance with all parts of the world, with which to come and buy up seaports in Africa, to buy up airports in Africa. Now you understand it? These are the people that the idiots in Aso Rock invited to come and kill all of you. And you're clapping at a photoshopped picture and the video of an idiot all the way in Cuba. Let's listen, please.
Accountable for not holding China accountable to providing good, valid data so that the rest of the world could prepare for fewer people to die. And that's what you're talking about. To me, these are equivalents to acts of war on the part of China. And then, equally, whether you're talking about NPR or Fox News, most major media outlets on both sides of the aisle came out and reassured the United States that it was just the flu. Within 24
They are using CNN and all the rest of BBC, using them, all of them, bought over by the Chinese.
And what we did was dither. We sat on it for 6 weeks and tried to reassure the public that nothing was happening. Somebody should be held accountable for that. Because somebody in the United Intelligence community has to have known what was truly going on in Wuhan. We don't have a CIA for nothing. And yet we told Americans for 6 weeks, while South Korea was testing everybody and shutting the country down, that it was just going to be the flu. So there are a lot of responsible bodies right now that have taken us to the point where we're at. Inside the country and in China. And they need to be held accountable. So you don't even have to get on the discussion as to whether or not this was a manufactured virus and set upon the world. You don't even have to go that far.
Manufactured virus set upon the world by China.
Then that needs to be prosecuted. But if we just ascertain what is known and a known hushed-up secret that the Chinese knew for 6 weeks about the virus before saying anything on the global stage to get a trade deal signed, somebody needs to look into that. Because countless lives have been lost as a result.
I will stop there. I want to give you or show you an example as to how civilized people reason and how they behave. Because people have died. Somebody must be asking the question, do we have CIA for nothing? She's talking about CIA. Let's go to the zoo. The zoo, they have the National Security Agency. They have military intelligence. They have DSS. They have every manner of intelligence services. after seeing all these things that journalists have seen, don't they analyze the effect of the Chinese coming into the zoo? Why did they allow them to come into the zoo? Don't they know that Bill Gates was busy financing Dr. Lieber of Harvard University, who was working for the Chinese government through Wuhan Institute of Virology to weaponize COVID-19? Little the deceiving illiterate Alamagiri in Asorok know that they are going to benefit from palliative money. Everybody some people are benefiting from this COVID-19. Some are benefiting. Every blessed day they benefit. When virus was coming out in Wuhan, little did all those Fulani thieves know that they'll be sharing palliative money and collecting, sharing rice and indomie and making money from it and burning down the treasury. They never knew, but they have benefited from it. I call it the unintended. Therefore, depending on how evil you are, once the scale of the impact of the virus enriches you or aligns with your objectives, you start propagating it for the lives of certain individuals who may, not like President Trump, they see COVID-19 as the means to weaken and undermine the U.S. president. That's what they're doing, to kill off President Trump's ambition to retain power in November. To us, dear friends, COVID-19 also works for us because it's removed certain cobwebs from Asorok to reveal the decay inside. People see it in different ways, but overnight, new billionaires have emerged from sharing COVID-19 relief money. To Bill Gates, COVID-19 gives the family access to what they've always wanted, which is to reduce the world population. That is a fact. And you must also know that Roger Stone accused Bill Gates of having a hand in the creation of this very coronavirus so they can use their vaccine to put tiny microchips in the body of people so they can kill you anytime they want. But in the zoo called Nigeria, you have a bunch of monkeys in Asorok supporting the deadly plan to exterminate their own kind in Africa by asking the Chinese to come and test the vaccine on their people. Even Bill Gates tried to convince Dangote to join him in the population reduction strategy, and that one foolishly agreed. Of course, he's a black man from Africa. What does he know? Even President Obama knew that COVID-19 was coming back in 2005. And in 2005, Obama actually opened his mouth and said, in 5 years' time, there will be a pandemic. In 5 years' time, there will be a pandemic. Why does Obama want a pandemic? Because it will stop air travel. They planned all these things. It will stop air travel, no planes will be moving, no cars will be moving, so that the depleted ozone layer that is responsible for the melting of the polar ice cap. They're telling you that this lockdown will stay in place till 2022. For some of you who do not know, that is what Bill Gates is suggesting in some point. In fact, that's what American academics are saying. But the Chinese Communist Party, some of you don't know this is happening in Biafra. They have sent somebody who is diseased with COVID-19 into Ebonyi State because they need Ebonyi State. All our minerals are in Ebonyi State and they want it very desperately. And I'm warning the governor of Ebonyi State, they want him to be aware that the Chinese Communist Party, part of this ECC, the new Chinese company now running Nigeria, they have sent a Chinese man infected COVID-19, was a prisoner in China. They brought him in, sent him to go and contaminate the people there. It is obvious that Fulani people are determined to reduce the population of Biafrans with the help of the Chinese. The same China that is struggling with her people, in terms of the sheer number of people you have in China, they're over 1.5 billion. Why not compensate by eliminating people in Africa? They met the Janjaweed in the north and they said, oh, why don't you go to Biafra land and kill off all of them? That is why they sent a diseased Chinese man every day Have you noticed how they got locked? They did not lock down the north, did they? Their governors have said that they will not lock down. But everywhere else, we are locked down so that Obiano and his friends can lay cable pipes on the ground to fry us all to death. Fearing in the north, you know, they will riot and they will revolt in the north. They know in the south we are very docile, so that nothing is happening. All you do is you complain, the police will come and kill you, and that's the end of you. But in the north, there is no lockdown. And in that same north is where they get the largest amount of money, the so-called COVID relief. They go to work, they go to their farm, they move their cattle from place to place. There is no lockdown in the north, but there is lockdown in the south. And the few Chinese prisoners they brought with them for experimentation, they have released them into Ebonyi State. One of them is in Ebonyi, seeking to infect people. And the governor is there. I'm just trying to warn him because we detected one Chinese man earlier today in Ebonyi State who is very, very sick. Very, very sick. And in the midst of all of this, no intelligence agency in the zoo. Over the man by Fulani. What do they know? Fulani intelligence services. Maybe they should be in charge of intelligence in finding lost cattle, not finding information that will save people's lives. I doubt that very much. I doubt that very, very much. Everywhere that China is not good for us. China is not good for Africa, but African leaders, they will not care because they are so selfish. All they care about is themselves and their families. That is why the Chinese are there today. And for Onyama, who is claiming he never knew, he should go and see the sign in front of restaurants in Guangzhou that said, "We've been informed that from now on, black people are not allowed to enter the restaurant." And this idiot is claiming he is a foreign minister. He has access to all the intelligence information coming in. He's saying he doesn't know. Anywhere in the world, he will be forced to resign the next minute. But he's in the zoo. If he can be ruled by a few fake pictures, he can say whatever he likes and get away with it. But you heard a white woman saying that people must pay for the loss of lives of Americans to COVID-19. But in Africa, all of us sheepishly, like idiots, anything goes. A health minister came out and said, the Chinese, we didn't invite them, they came on their own with equipment to experiment on us. You allowed that to fly. And again, a whole foreign minister said oh my God, that people complaining of molestation and racism in China, that they are lying. When there are signs everywhere in Guangzhou saying black people are not welcome here. Can you believe such people? Because you allowed them to. They are doing all these things because you allowed them to. That's why they get away with murder. Very, very sad indeed. That's the difference between white people and black people. It is there everywhere. And McDonald's in China actually apologized. As I said earlier, they have apologized. And the people are saying, Trump didn't have cut funding to World Health Organization. But World Health Organization, we warned a while back, we are told Taiwan that this virus can move from person to person. You were told, World Health Organization. Do you do anything? No. All you're interested in is don't call it Chinese virus. That is interesting. But China is busy. When people call it Chinese virus, you are busy. It's racism. But now China is being racist to Africans. And the head of World Health Organization is an Ethiopian, is an African. He's there, not saying anything. I don't know this type of curse we have. Having people who don't care about us and help. They are being chosen by white people. Just like Kofi Annan and Obama. Black on the outside. But maybe pink and yellow on the inside. Very, very sad indeed. The Chinese are in the zoo, and the Nigerian Janjaweed government is reaping the fruits of their own labor. Can you imagine that Nigerian armed forces are busy bombing civilians? They are busy bombing civilians in Borno. Not Boko Haram, killing civilians with Air Force. A country carrying out aerial bombardment inside its own country, unheard of before. Have you ever heard that any country in the world carried out airstrikes on its own citizens? Buratai and the Advance Army. So, didn't you hear that Chad defeated Boko Haram? Did they deploy an Air Force? Men went into battle and won the battle. But you're all 40,000 feet dropping bombs from up, and you are a brave soldier. Our servicemen, brave Nigerian soldiers. This is a picture of an infected COVID-19 infected Buratai serving food. Well, of course, it's a lie. It's all Photoshop. If not Photoshop, if not, they would have released the video. Photoshop. This is it. They are bombing Boko Haram from 40,000 feet, whereas Chad went on the ground and defeated Boko Haram. And these are your gun soldiers. No, and because you have not risen up, because you have not rebelled, because you have not risen up to say there has to be a revolution. Now, that is why they're killing you. That's why they're bombing civilians in the north. Very, very sad indeed. Extremely sad indeed. Very, very sad. That is what people are encountering on a daily basis. They cannot lock down in the north, but they get the lion's share of everything. They cannot lock down in the north, and all the terrorist groups are operating peacefully. They cannot lock down in the north, and innocent people are being killed in the south. Very, very sad indeed. We have gone on this evening. The time now is 28 minutes past the top of the hour, 28 minutes past 9 p.m. in the blessed land of Biafra. We are live, and we are like, our world is listening, because this is the gospel we must preach. We must preach it to the end of humanity. We must preach it to the end of humanity. It doesn't matter what Facebook does. They know they're wasting their time. We still stream and stream and stream this broadcast over and over again until it sinks in. They are wasting their time. This is the time for the people of middle belt to rise up, for the time of the Yoruba to rise up, for the Biafran people to rise up. These people will kill all of us unless we do something about it. The killing continues. Earlier today as well, U.S. Civil Defense killed somebody at Umeka Junction along the expressway from Umuahia to Aba for refusing to give them 100 naira. Just like that, and the light is gone. And we all pretend as if everything is normal. We need to rise up. There has to be a revolution, and that revolution time is now. This is the second man to die in a matter of hours at the hands of these vagabonds. They will not report it anywhere. CNN will not carry it. Channel TV will not carry it. Channel TV is worse. That a state is worse. You people are black. You have no choice. You still watch it. And when they kill you, you want the world to save you. The world will look at you and say, you are dumb. You better die there. That's what's happening to us right now. People have decided to be foolish, to be stupid, and we are paying the price for it. There are those who, out of the kindness of their heart, of course, want to help IPOB. It is now a private announcement because we have brought today's proceedings to an end. But there are a few announcements I have to make for IPOB. Because if Nigerians are sensible, those that call themselves Nigerians, which I mean the middle belt, now is the time to do something about it. You must rise up. You must have movements. The way IPOB is dominating the whole of Biafra land. You must have your leaders. And then there must be a revolution, the one that Showell was talking about, to bring in better life for everybody, including you maybe as marginals in the north as well. Everybody will enjoy. Enjoyment, I mean, is not going to take and spend on a few people now. There will be good roads and good schools. There will be hospitals. There will be jobs. We will create jobs for people to go to. must understand that we are going to work very hard to build a civilized nation, not an overpopulated one. I'm sure that Bill Gates is listening. We are not looking to overpopulate everywhere, no. We are looking to live our lives the same way that Elohim had intended from the beginning, free of interference from anywhere. And on that note, today that we have brought the reign of shame of the zoo to an end. We are waiting for another 2 weeks, so they will do another broadcast. We want to let you know that nobody from the EU, I think there is a problem right now, even with our radio on the ground. They are attacking that one as well, but they're wasting their time. This very broadcast this evening has been heard all over the world. They are wasting their time. They are shutting everywhere. Unbelievable. They are shutting everywhere down. Even the Facebook we have on Radio Biafra is also gone. That we have almost come to the end of the program. We have come to the end of the program. And this very evening, please, wherever you are, whatever you are doing, do not forget that the time for revolution has come. That revolution must start now. There are some people who, out of the kindness of their heart, please, who out of the kindness of their heart want to support IPOB family members back home, please always do that through the coordinator, please. We are whiter than white and whiter than snow, you must know that. There are some of us, please, who are seeking to help people back home. You must always go through the Biafra Land National Coordinator. Very, very important indeed. Very, very important indeed. That brings us to the end of the program today. There are some announcements I would have loved to make, but I cannot do it because of time constraints. But to those who persevered and listened, we believe that together we have been able to dispel the idiocy that is in the brain of the black person. That is the key for us. For us to be able to emerge, we must not like the way a typical black African man does. If you reason the way that a black African man does, you will be a failure. We will struggle, die, and build a nation. There are some idiots who come and take over the next day and start killing people at will. We don't want that. This Biafra has to be very, very different. It will be held up as a beacon of hope to all black people all over the world. We are not in competition with China. I know that they will have this very program this evening and give it to the Chinese ambassador to the zoo and say, do you see why you need to block Biafra anywhere you go to? Because they start competing with you. We are not but we just want to live a very simple and dignified life. If the Yorubas want to live a simple and dignified life, fine. If they want to serve the planet, so they are more than welcome to do so. But nobody can stop Biafra. Nobody can stop this very movement. Nobody can stop IPOB. Nobody can stop me. Because Biafra is heavenly ordained. There is nothing man on this earth can do about it. We call it the last miracle. And that is the grace of God upon the lives of black people all over the world. Here on Radio Biafra is where we will continue to preach this very gospel to the end of time. It will never ever change. The truth will always guide us. The truth will always guide us. That is why our religion. Biafra is our religion. Here on Radio Biafra is where we worship. Because Adonai El Shaddai is our God. From me, from here, good evening.